I don't know what he was doing. It was weird. It was weird to see that type of fighting. But anywho, that's not Jake Paul's fault. So Jake Paul did what he needed to do, and he won, and he looked good.
Jake Paul looked really good. I think he won all the rounds. I mean, it's good for boxing. I think he deserves a chance to fight for a world title.
Jake Paul did get fatigued down the stretch, but he still held on.
The boxing world had mixed reactions to Jake Paul's victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Many insiders and fans praised Jake's growth, with Ryan Garcia tweeting that Jake did his thing, outboxed Chavez Jr. Shane Mosley commended Jake's movement and fight IQ but also criticized Chavez Jr., suggesting it might be time for him to retire. Overall, the sentiment was that Jake's development was impressive, while Julio's effort and future prospects were questioned.
Jake Paul fought a great fight. You know, he moved around the way he's supposed to, throwing great punches, and for the experience he had, he did fantastic. Junior, on the other hand, he didn't throw any punches until the third or fourth round or something. He was just kind of walking forward, and I don't know what he was doing. It was weird. It was weird to see that type of fighting. But anywho, that's not Jake Paul's fault. So Jake Paul did what he needed to do, and he won, and he looked good.
Where do you think Junior goes from here, in your opinion, Shane?
Junior needs to retire from here.
Junior needs to retire.
He needs to retire. I mean, if you can't throw any punches in 2, 3, 4 rounds, you need to retire. I mean, if you can't, what are you doing? What are we doing? You just living up your father's name. Yeah. That's basically what you're doing, because you didn't even fight until the last round, maybe last two rounds, and threw some punches, and you had some success when you threw some punches.
Piers Morgan voiced strong criticism, calling the fight a staged spectacle and lamenting that fighters past their prime are being used to generate profits at the expense of boxing's integrity. Despite this, Rayo Valenzuela, a respected young fighter, praised Jake's performance, stating he looked impressive and deserved to be ranked among the top 15 to 20 fighters in his division, a significant acknowledgement from within the sport.
Great fight. Julio's back after all he's been through, so I tip my hat off to him. It's not easy, especially through what life throws at you sometimes. But it was a good fight.
What'd you make of how Jake Paul looked and fought?
He's doing his thing. Jake Paul's looking good. Shout out to him. Yeah.
Do you think he's ready to fight maybe a top 15, top 20?
Sure. Yeah.
So I guess where does Junior go from here, in your opinion?
It's up to him. He can retire if he want, or he can have another fight like this. Fight a YouTuber or something. Yeah.
Adding to the support, Jose Benz Sr., father and trainer of up-and-coming boxer David Benz, expressed high approval after watching Jake's win. He suggested that Jake now deserves a shot at a world title and even hinted at a future matchup with his son. This endorsement from a seasoned professional signaled a shift in how the boxing community views Jake, not just as entertainment but as a serious contender.
I think Jake Paul looked really good. I think he won all the rounds. I mean, it's good for boxing. I think he deserves a chance to fight for a world title. He proved it today with an ex-world champion, Julio Cesar Chavez, that he dominated and he did really good.
What did you think of Chavez's performance? Early on he didn't throw a lot, and then towards the end he had some moments. Were you disappointed in Chavez?
Well, I thought he was going to try to get Jake Paul a little tired. He was blocking and taking all his shots, but I think he just got tired, and couldn't execute it. So Jake Paul did a great job.
Boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult highlighted Jake's technical progress, noting that Jake has improved more than most realize. He pointed out Jake's timing, discipline, and ring IQ, arguing that these skills demonstrate that Jake is no longer just about hype but has genuine skill and potential in the sport.
I looked at Jake. I was saying, thank you, Jake. Yep, I was saying, thank you, Jake. A lot. The thing is, not to say that because he beat a 6-year-old Mike Tyson that, that impressed me with. What I'm saying is, you couldn't really see everything that Jake possessed in that fight. He has gotten way better. I saw him training, and I'm like, the guy is good. He messed around and got good. You don't like Zerto fight? Zerto looked I mean, that was one of the best I've seen, but best times I've seen. No, Zerto won this clear to me. Don't forget it was a point deduction. We're on 15, 113. I mean, 113, 112. 117, 110. Yeah, it was clearly Zerto. Clearly Zerto. Yeah, it was clearly Zerto, bro. I mean, Zerto was making a miss, and I mean, Zerto was really, I was impressed by his defense.
Footage from ringside showed how dominant Jake was throughout the fight. He controlled the pace early on, while Chavez Jr. failed to land meaningful punches. Jake's footwork, jab, conditioning, and control kept him ahead, revealing both physical and mental superiority. The clear dominance suggested that Jake's win was secured early and maintained through focus and poise.
Jake Paul has defeated Chavez Jr. right this fight. Chavez got active in them last 3 rounds and he really showed his power. But throughout most of the fight and throughout those first 5 or 6 rounds, right, most of us were saying, is Chavez here to fight or not? Because he was not throwing very much at all. And then you thought maybe the strategy is let Jake Paul get tired because he's not used to going 10 rounds, and then maybe in those last couple rounds you could get him. But Jake Paul did get fatigued down the stretch, but he still held on. He looked well even in the final 3 rounds when Chavez was pouring it on enough to get over the top. I'd say it's impressive considering Chavez Jr. is former champion for Jake Paul. Probably going to get a title shot soon. My question to y'all is, what did y'all think of the fight? When Chavez first came out, man, I'm like, he's not throwing. Jake Paul looked really active. I go, when is Chavez going to throw? Then Chavez began to throw, and you thought maybe the strategy is let Jake Paul get tired and then try to beat him down the stretch, right? Which I think that was strategy. But Paul proving to hang on. Chavez goes down in this one. So, guys, what do y'all think about the fight? What do you think about Jake Paul's performance? And can he get a title shot?
In the post-fight press conference, Jake expressed respect for Chavez Jr. but also reinforced his confidence. He addressed critics who doubted his durability, stating actions speak louder than words. For Jake, the victory was a statement of growth and legitimacy, leaving with validation and a stronger belief in his boxing journey.
Between you and Cesar Chavez Jr. tonight. Now, in round 9, the heat really turned up. Did you feel the Mexican power that he promised, or do you feel like he didn't perform the way you thought that he would?
No, yeah, he brought a hard fight there at the end, and that's that Mexican warrior style. I don't know how he was eating all those punches, to be honest. And my hands low-key hurt from his face. And so, respect to him. He had good cardio, and he came on strong at the end. He's a very, very strong guy, had a lot of power, but people underestimate my chin and my ability and my toughness.
Jake, Jonathan Agger of Pro Boxing Fans. During the week, you had a viral interview with Piers Morgan where he said that he didn't think that you would beat Chavez. He felt like when you fight a former world champion, you'll come unstuck. What did you prove to not only him, but other people that have criticised you?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words, so people can sit behind their desks and sit on their TV shows and say a lot of things about my career. But everyone's tuning in, everyone's watching, and I just continue to win.
And you mentioned Anthony Joshua. Does it end there? Would you want to bring Tyson Fury out of retirement?
Oh man, there's too many people for me to fight. I need more time. At the end of the day, that's the only thing I can't do is create more time. So we'll see what happens.
Piers Morgan's earlier skepticism was challenged by Jake's performance. Morgan had questioned whether Jake had faced a true professional in their prime, but Jake's dominant win proved otherwise. The victory showcased his physical strength, mental resilience, and strategic discipline, sending a clear message that he's serious about competing at top levels.
YouTube this, YouTube that, Disney that. This shit is not a joke. I'm knocking out the best of the best, beating all of these people time in and time again. And it's about time that you old heads and all these fucking boxers who think they know about the sport put some respect on my name.
Yeah, but you're not going to get... Look, you're going to make a ton of money. And listen, businessman, you are brilliant, right? I give you full credit for that. When you took on Mike Tyson as a business enterprise, there's no argument. You absolutely crushed the numbers, crushed the money, and everything else. the idea that you can say on the one hand, I'm a killer, I get in the ring with the best people, and you get in the ring with a guy who's 50, literally nearly as old as me.
I'm not talking about Mike Tyson. I'm talking about Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, champions in their sport. Golden Gloves champions, Ryan Borland, Andre August, undefeated fighters. The list goes.
But what great boxer have you been in the ring with?
World champion on Saturday, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., son of the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, besides me, of course. Like, I don't know what you guys want to see. I tried to fight Canelo. He ducked out of it. You asked him about that. You said he's going to kill me. So what do you want? You're laughing when you say, oh, Jake is going to fight Canelo. I think you would kill him. But then you're like, oh, you're not fighting this guy. You're the problem here with this whole situation and criticism of my career. I'm trying to fight the best people, and that's why Chavez is here on Saturday. I want Canelo. I want Anthony Joshua. I want all these people. It's been 5 years in this sport.
But the problem is, the only proper boxer you fought was Tommy Fury. He beat you. He's not even the best. He's not even the best fighter in his family.
Golden Gloves champion Andre August, Brian Borland as well. Anderson Silva was an undefeated boxer. I mean, you can sit there and make up shit, but you actually don't know your facts. I fought multiple boxers with professional records, and including Mike Tyson himself, who I think is going to be a harder fight than Chavez.
Tony Jeff, a respected trainer, praised Jake's dedication and the professional environment he's cultivated. He emphasized that Jake's focus, elite trainers, and disciplined training regime have been pivotal in his rapid improvement, demonstrating that Jake is treating boxing with the respect it demands and reaping the results.
The one huge advantage of having money is he can hire the best team in the world. He'll have the best things possible. Like, he's got a hyperbaric chamber in his home, but he's got the best kind of chamber, helping him with recovery. Normal fighters can't afford to do this. Of course, he's got that advantage. Now, you might be thinking, well, him getting in a hyperbaric chamber for recovery is not going to help him be a better boxer. Well, my friend, let me tell you, it is. And the reason why it is, to think that you've done a hard box training session and you've got another one the next day, because fighters train like once, twice, 3 times a day, you're going to recover fast. If you recover faster, what happens? You perform better on the next session. So let's just say an average boxer is progressing like this because they're not recovering properly. Jake Paul is recovering and progressing like this. See how fast he has progressed, whether you like him or not. He's come from 0 boxing experience to where he's at now. Now you might be saying, well, Tony, he's fighting old men. Just look at who Floyd Mayweather fought on his fight, and look at Jake fought on his fighting. See here, the comparison's right there. Now back to the money. Having that money, he's doing hyperbaric chambers. He's got the best sports science, the best trainers around. And if I was still fighting right now and I couldn't afford what Jake's got, what I would be doing is watching what he's doing. Now you might think that is absolutely crazy. Why would I want to watch Jake Paul? Well, because like I said, he's got the best equipment, he's got the best trainers, he's got the best team that money can buy. You would take that for in your training, you know, he's doing something right.
From the beginning, Jake projected confidence, claiming he would win the fight, and he followed through. Fully focused and dialed in, sources confirmed his intense training. His dominant victory made his vision of building a legacy in boxing a tangible reality, proving his commitment and seriousness in the sport.
It's not going to be me, but I'm training harder than ever. I know this is my toughest opponent yet. Maybe not the biggest name opponent yet, but it's still going to be a super, super good fight. So make sure everyone pull up Anaheim, California, Ticketmaster.com. Be there, baby.
I was going to say that, you know, do you think this is the toughest opponent? Obviously, he's still a guy who was, you know, he's not all that old. He's got a ton of fights. He's got, I think, 61 pro fights. You think this is the toughest challenge for you if you take everything into consideration?
Yeah, taking everything into consideration and how hard he's training behind the scenes, people saying that this is the most serious he's ever taken a fight, and the fact that he's a former world champion, 30-something knockouts, and I think he wants to put Mexico on his back and represent, and he doesn't want to lose to a guy like me because he knows that's going to hurt his legacy that he's built for himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jake, if you see video of him, it looks like he's training hard. I think if there's one criticism, obviously, as you know, of his that people have always said is that, hey, he doesn't train hard, doesn't work as hard as he should. But he's a guy with a lot of talent. But if he is working hard and he does still have that talent, obviously, that could make for a dangerous opponent, couldn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I bring out of my opponents. You know, even when I fly sparring partners in, they go harder than they normally do with other guys because they want to prove a point because it's me. They don't want to get beat up by a guy who's only been doing this for 5 years or so. So they always bring their A game, and that's why I'm always at my best as well because I have to bring my A game every time.
The fight underscored Jake's advantages of youth, explosive energy, and stamina. He fought with relentless pace and recovered quickly, contrasting with Chavez Jr.'s struggles in age. While experience favored Chavez, Jake's dedication and physical condition proved decisive, demonstrating that youth and discipline can overcome veteran experience.
The answer he can. He's like, yeah, every fight's different. He's young, so he has a lot of energy. I think that, Jake also has a lot of power. Chavez Jr. has never seen. Again, he's moving up, I don't know how many weight classes from middleweight. Probably never fought a guy that hits as hard as Jake does. Not to say that Jake's, exorbitantly powerful or anything like that. He may be, but it's just he's a cruiserweight. Chavez Jr. fought, I think, once at cruiserweight, maybe twice now. Jake's youth is a massive factor for him. Chavez Jr. is 39. He's not, 50 or whatever, but got a lot of boxing miles on him. Has some, obviously, outside of the ring substance issues. Been out of the ring and on and off for the last however long. Has taken massive breaks. So all that's going to factor.
Leading up to the fight, many dismissed it as just another publicity stunt, expecting Chavez Jr. to win easily. Critics predicted Jake would be exposed, but he approached the fight with discipline and seriousness. His performance silenced skeptics and proved that this was more than a spectacle, marking a turning point in his boxing career and establishing him as a legitimate contender.
Breaking news, Jake Paul is going to be taking on former world champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in a fight that I think is going to fool a lot of people. And what do I mean by fool a lot of people? What I mean is people are going to, on paper, look at this and be like, oh, Jake Paul gets schooled here, gets schooled here. Chavez Jr. is 39. He was not known as a very disciplined boxer during his prime. That's one of the reasons he had such a heavy decline. He's also a lot smaller than Jake Paul. What I will say about Jake Paul is he is a genius, or his team and management are geniuses at giving him opponents that people on paper look at and be like, oh, Jake Paul's not a real fighter, he won't be able to beat this guy. This is very, 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 very minimal risk for Jake Paul. The only factor that can come into play here is if Chavez Jr. decides he actually wants to show up properly for this fight, conditioned and use his experience to win. But Jake Paul, for me and his team, very, very careful about who they matchmake him against ever since the Tommy Fury fight. Ever since here, we haven't seen him in there with someone his own age, his own weight, and his own sort of experience. For me, Jake Paul wants to be a YouTube boxer still, and he wants to be considered an influencer boxer. Matchmaking him against these guys that on paper, oh, this is a big challenge for Jake Paul, in reality not really, is okay. But I think if Jake Paul actually is what he says he wants to be, and he wants to make that step up, man, he's going to have to take risks.